Good morning, Patrick. This is Ken Parrish from Harrison Landscape and Design. I am here at the Pasadena Pavilion. We are starting this morning to do our cleanup. The purpose today is, Monday the 2nd of November, 2020. And there are a number of things that I wanted to point out to you while we're doing this before they clean it up. So for example, I wanted to show you, this is a bed that obviously the entrance is, that direction is south, that direction is north. This is the frontage road right here. And this is the entrance to the Chewies. This is the bed of the entrance on one side. We've actually started cleaning this one up on the other. Let's just start over here. So there's three things I want to bring up to you. First, and I'm going to come back to this topic, is the current crew, I think, actually cut the grass recently. And you can see how they left this, they left the debris of the cut grass all the way down. That's just minor. I'm going to come back to that. But more importantly, here's your bed, and it hasn't been probably touched in at least probably since it was built. This particular plant, as you can see here, is dead, and this is what we found and discovered here. So you can see there's a plant right here, also dead. So basically, cleaning it out, what do? We till the ground. We till the ground, we pull up the weeds, and here's what was left in this bed. There are these rocks here, but they have never been maintained. You'll notice that, so really the second topic is ryegrass. Ryegrass is not St. Augustine. Ryegrass is this kind of golf course type thick grass that you see right here, and it makes this kind of mulch when you cut it. You see this here. Now when that grows into when it's not maintained inside the beds and it gets into the beds, it kills everything. You can see the density just right here in this particular boxwood, that it's all the way inside of it. And you're probably watching this going, dude, what do you want? Well, this is completely naked. I mean, we're going to clean it up and it's going to be flat, but it's not going to have anything in it compared to the other side. Look at the other side of the entrance. Now, these are all boxwoods. They've never quite grown up yet. Usually they're Asian boxwoods. And the ryegrass, if you'll notice, in this situation has not reached the center until we get to here. Now, this is all weeds, and you can see this particular plant right here is dead. I don't know if you can see that. I didn't show that. You can see this plant right here is dead. We have to pull all this out, all these weeds. Forget about the trash, it's irrelevant. But notice how the ryegrass, once it starts rolling in, affects everything. Look at how dense this ryegrass is. So it's not just weeds, it's actual grass. So normally what we would do is pull it. Here's another example. This is probably one of the best examples you're going to get. This is what's called a knockout rose. My shadow is affecting it. This is called a knockout rose. And you can see how this ryegrass has completely grown up into this thing. It's completely affected. It's not even supposed to be in the bed. And I don't know what the parameters of your current contract with your current crew was, but obviously it didn't include cleaning out the flower beds, because this whole thing is full of ryegrass, dead ryegrass. Which, what does that mean? It means that they rolled in here with maybe not even with a weed eater. Look here at this one, and they just sprayed weed killer on top of the ryegrass. And so this is so dense, these plants are going to die. They're not dead yet, but they will die. As is you can see right here, the plants that were here are dead. So these are next. You'll notice that, well, we actually weed-eated this edge right here just to kind of give us an outline for what we're digging into. But to get all this out of those beds, that's all included in the price I quoted you. Why am I making this video today? Because I think what you're going to need to do, if you want to make this really look nice, you're going to have to replace these dead plants. This is just one bed. Obviously, you're going to need to replace plants over here. Otherwise, you're just going to basically have a naked bed. More importantly, look at the mulch. The mulch here is white. You see that? So when I turn it over like that, when I do that, it doesn't really change color. So sometimes when you dig through beds and things like that, they turn black like this. See how black that is? Unfortunately, that's not the case with these outlying beds. So let me do something else over here. Hold on. Okay, so here's a different aspect. As you can see, my worker, he's tilling the ground in these areas. All this ground has been tilled. You can see that big bag right there is full of debris that we pulled out of the bed, and we're headed that direction. But the important part isn't that we pull the weeds out, which is what we're doing. It's that it doesn't change the color of the bed line at all. It's still kind of coffee colored or even white in some cases. So it's not really helping the look. What's the point? You need mulch. This place hasn't been mulched in, sorry about that, probably 2 years. Hold on. So when we got here this morning, we got here around 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. On Monday, the 1st of November. And the ground had been cut. And I don't know if they cut it Saturday or they cut it this morning, but this is how they left it. And this is, in my mind, reprehensible. So I don't know if they did it on purpose because they know they're going to lose the account. I mean, I don't know what the deal is, but this kind of, I don't know if you can see this in a video, but I'm going to try to get closer to the ground. As you can see right here, section right here, they lowered the cast of the blades so low that they shaved. See those white areas compared to the green areas? All that comes from do it on the other side like this. All of that comes from this area right here. All that stuff that you see that's kind of beige and white looking is they lowered. You see how it's kind of, look right here. Kind of like these crop circles right here. They really shave the ground down. In addition, they're supposed to blow up the debris and not just leave it on the grass. I mean, they have these shaved, I should have approached it from the other side. Hold on. So if you look here, shaved, see the crop circle? Obviously right here, shaved it so deep it got all the way down to the dirt. The real depressing part is that they left all of this debris here. All of these cut grass, and they basically blew it where this tree is right here. That's inappropriate. I can't imagine that you paid for that sort of thing. But I'm not going to go to every island and show you where they did this, but you have to believe me when I tell you they did this same sort of thing pretty much everywhere. There's little crop circles all over the place. So hold on. Another issue, I'm out on the frontage road again. Here's a tree. It's got its stakes in the ground. They need to go. And all that they did here, again, this little line you see around, they didn't do. Really what they did, this is what they're doing. They're letting this grass, this ryegrass, grow up into the bed. And then they're just spraying fertilizer. I mean, they're spraying a weed killer, and it's just killing the ryegrass, turning it white. So this line of shaved, like looking white stuff right here. Okay, hold on. Also another point. Obviously the grass over time has not been treated with either pre-emergent or in either section, because you see these big clumps of weeds that are embedded into the grass. You know, you see these big clumps of weeds that are embedded. See how long? And they just lay down. All that stuff needs to be treated. All of the outlying beds look like that. You know, they have grass growing up in them. They use a weed eater, they cut them, and then they spread weed killer to kill it. So we're going by and doing all that. Now this is probably one of the best examples of what happens when you don't take care of your ryegrass. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it, but look at this knockout rose. Look at the thickness of the hair. You see that? This stuff is not going to get pulled out by the root without killing that plant. It's that simple. Although this looks okay. These violets look halfway decent, but you can see the ryegrass has grown all the way up into here and has died. So we're going to till up this ground. Whatever the plants that were here are gone. There was a plant here in the center between these two plants. It's gone. And again, you know, the ryegrass is so dense you can't even see. You can see little clumps of the mulch, but look right here, Patrick. Look at that. Look at that hair that's growing up in there. It would be different if it was just plain weeds. You could just pull it out. But to get this out at its root to stop it from growing, you really do compromise the integrity of the plant itself. Here's another example of how they shaved the grass. You see this whole line right here as we walk. It just had the cast lowered so low that it shaved the ground. Now we arrive at the principal bed. This is at the corner of Vista Boulevard and the frontage road of Beltway 8 in Houston, Texas. It's where your most traffic is going to go by. You can see how all this ryegrass has grown up into here, completely affected. All that's going to have to come out. Here are your knockout roses. You can see the ryegrass in here. Hopefully you can see it. It's all grown up in here. This is the, hold on a second. This is that front bed. I got the got the sun pointing at me, but you can see how I don't really know what you paid for in your current contract, but it can't be that you were paying for them to clean out these beds, because they haven't done it. Notice how this one is completely overtaken with the ryegrass. You can see how dense and how thick it is at the bottom. You're probably again thinking, okay, Ken, you showed that. You made your point. Move on. Hold on a second. So I just wanted to give you this. Although I think most of these plants might be able to be saved, but at the very minimum, we're going to have to tear all this out. And this again is a part of the service, but the reason I'm making this video today is to show you you're going to lose a lot of these plants. So on to the next. Here's the Outback and the Razoo sign. Look at this bed, it's completely dead. We haven't even come by here yet, so you can see how it is currently. All the plants that were there are dead. These knockout roses seem to be doing okay, not completely affected yet. But obviously the ground looks bad, needs to be mulched. Again, what they did here is they just mowed it and blew the grass clippings up into the flower bed, which they're not supposed to do. Another very dense bed with ryegrass growing up in it. Here's another entrance. This is Vista Road. This is an entrance. As you can see, this does not look good. How it should look, you know, here's my guy pulling the stuff up by hand. This one is a little bit easier because it's not as infected, and I believe Razoo's actually put in dark mulch at least 6 months ago. So that's an issue. Hold on. Also, you can see over here all the little rocks in the front. They lost their barrier and their border. Not really sure what the motive for putting these rocks here was. However, I think you know, they're grown up. If it were me, I would till up all this and just put mulch. But you can see, sorry, you can see right here that green weed that's grown up next to these knockout roses. And here's some more. You know, we're doing our best to get all this stuff out, as you can see. We'll be tilling up the ground here in a little bit. These knockout roses don't look so bad as some of the others do. So, Patrick, again, this is me. I'm old. So, again, hold on, just want to make sure it's working. The purpose of this video is threefold. One is to kind of show you a before picture so you can kind of see what we've gotten ourselves into. But more importantly, to discuss the prospect of removing the dead plants, or the ones that will die, and replacing them with viable plants. The best time to do that would be right now, because we're here. There's actually a Houston Garden Center where we have an account across the street. We can get some plants for the entrances. I'm thinking anywhere from a palm tail to maybe even foxtails, or just, you know, plain perennials. I think if you went with knockouts, you'd be talking about $35 a plant, which at the very minimum you would at least need 40 of those. Or you could just add 1 gallon, you know, some 1 gallon boxwoods to kind of complete the picture. There's a multitude of perennials that are very resilient to weather. I could choose them for you and say, I'm not going to purchase something for more than, say, $15 a plant. The cost to install per plant would be, depending on its size, would be between $5 and $10. So you're talking at most $25 a plant. And you say, well, gee, Ken, you know, if we do just 20 of those, we'll talk about another 500, then you need 40 or 50 even, maybe even 100 of them. So you're talking about another, you know, at $25 a plant, you're talking about another, you know, if you need 100 plants, you need $2,500, which you don't have the budget for, I'm presuming. But the last thing is, I think you need to consider mulch. That's probably the easiest thing to do right now to make it look really good. You know, we don't have to mulch the whole property. I think we could potentially make these entrance beds look really nice if we, like, look right here. In this area where the plants have died, we pull these plants up right here. We till up the ground. I'm thinking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 plants. Install would be $200 plus the cost of $150 plus the cost of the plant itself. It was $10, like $250, and then we put mulch right here inside this perimeter here, right here. Leave that the way it is. We could do that some other time, but these entrance beds, we till the ground up right here and we put mulch. How many yards, you might be thinking? I think we could take care of it with like 10 yards. The best would be if we got 30 yards. I think the whole property would hold 60 yards, but I think you could get away with 30 yards if you can. No, it's hard to trust a complete stranger, but I can promise you that my main guy, my main chief, this place is going to look spectacular when we're done. Just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. This is our Chewies. This is my restaurant. We're actually cleaning this up just a little bit today while we're here. And you can see that, and they haven't planted mulch in over a year either. But it looks nice. Looks crisp. The edge is very well formed. The mulch is black. The flowers are blooming. I love Laura petalum. Laura petalum. This plant right here is kind of purplish or maroon looking. They're gorgeous. They would work great up there in those entrances. I can get some Laura petalum for like, I can get a 3-gallon plant for like 20 bucks and a 1-gallon plant for less than 10. But you can see it looks very nice, very pretty. My favorite plant are these foxtails, but they're expensive. So that's kind of like, you know, where we are. We'd like to make the whole entire property look like this. I know this has been a long video. I apologize for that, and yes, maybe we should have made this video before we got out here today, but we really didn't see the extent of it when we went by. We thought we were just basically going to be cleaning weeds out of the beds, forming the beds up, cutting the grass, and you know, then trimming all of the bushes and blowing the place. But now that I see just the extent of how bad the ryegrass has affected the outlook, it's sort of, I mean, we're here. So my suggestion is you buy around 100 1-gallon plants, maybe a little bit more if I can get a good deal. We plant those, and we put in like 15 yards of mulch, which would be like 3 pallets. We could go the full 30 yards, but the price per yard installed is $85. So it's 850 bucks if you do 10, you know, 1,700 if you do 20. And of course, so just off the top of my head, if we're estimating total cost, if you do 100 flowers at, say, $20 a flower, that's still $2,000, plus the price of the mulch would be $1,750 if you did 20 yards, but the place would look spectacular. You would have no more ryegrass. You're not going to have any more ryegrass in these beds at all, but like you saw, there's a lot of beds that won't have anything in them. So anyway, I'm going to send you this video. I apologize for the length, and then I'll give you a call. All right, bye.